Hello everyone, welcome to our video ministry update for the month of June, where we share with you all that's going on in our lives and our ministry in the country of Bolivia. I think if we wanted to sum up this last month, we could summarize it as being a month of lasts or a month of endings as we prepared for our upcoming furlough. The first thing was we had our final training time with the people there. Usually leading up to our furlough, Beth and I have multiple meetings each week, meeting with the people, meeting with the pastors, even meeting with the churches to try to get things in order and encourage them and prepare them for our absence during our furlough. And I was able to meet each Thursday for several weeks with the pastors and the men that were training there. Normally when we meet together, we study through a book or different things like that. But this time I wanted to share some specific things with them that I thought would be a help and encouragement during our absence during that time. The first week I was able to talk with them about their character, about their Christian life, about not just focusing on the exterior or the superficial, but really focusing on the heart and their relationship and their walk with the Lord and the importance of that. Because if we just focus on the outward, then we're always going to neglect the inward. Then the second week, I was able to share with them about the importance of their preaching, about the importance of not preaching or trying to say what we want to say, but make sure that we're getting from the Bible its true message and taking that to the people and preaching what God has for them in its context, and how that if we truly preach the Bible in its context, the way we should preach it correctly, then we will see the power of God through His message to be able to work in people's lives and change their lives. And then on the last week, I was able to speak with them about the importance of working together as a team. I shared with them both the challenges and the advantages that come with that, and how we have to really apply biblical principles to be able to continue to work as a team, because Satan always tries to divide us and separate us. And so I was able to share with them some of those principles and encourage them to work together as a team, to be there to help each other, encourage each other, support each other during this time that we would not be there to help them in the ministry, and encourage them all around just to continue faithfully serving the Lord and doing the work of the Lord, and really focusing on what the Lord had for them during this time. So please pray for the pastors there, pray for the churches during our absence, that the Lord would protect them and that they would continue encouraged and faithfully serving the Lord. Then we were also able to have our final service in the church where we've been working there. It was a very special service with several different activities. First of all, we were able to celebrate Mother's Day. Mother's Day is celebrated a little later in Bolivia than it is in the United States. And so we had a very special service planned for the mothers there. We had a very special meal at the end of the service, and I was able to share from 1 Samuel where Anna cried to the Lord to have a son, and then she promised to dedicate her son Samuel to the Lord when she had him. So there's some important principles there about how to really be a mother that dedicates and focuses on raising our children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. In all, we had a great group. We had probably 50 adults with about 20 children. We had 17 mothers that we were able to celebrate with there. Then also, not only did we have our final service, but we were able to have our very first baptism at the church. As you might have heard a few weeks ago, I was able to lead a young man to the Lord, Mike, and I've been working with him for a long time, really, leading up to his profession of faith. And then even now, I've been meeting with him to prepare him for his first step of baptism. He was actually really excited about that. And so I was able to meet with him for a couple of weeks and prepare for that. And on that last service, we were able to have our very first baptism there as Mike got baptized. I was able to speak with him just recently, and it was really encouraging how he's actually staying faithful to the services there and really growing in the Lord. And so pray for Mike, pray for other Christians like him that are taking their first steps and beginning to grow in the Lord. Then we were also able to really have probably some of our last meetings with the people there. In the Bolivian culture, we see that the people, there's a lot of emphasis put on family, friendships, being close with each other. And so each time we travel for furlough, we have multiple, not meetings with the people like ministry-wise, but just people who want to have us over, have a meal with us, go out with us. And so needless to say, we had plenty to eat in those last few weeks, and just a very busy time meeting with different people, going out with different people. But it was a very encouraging time for us to see the love that the people have for us there, and that they wanted to spend that last time with us before we left for our furlough. And so we'd ask that you just continue to pray for the Bolivian people. Pray for them during this time of our absence. We'll be obviously on furlough for a year, and it's always a trying time for them, but it's always a growing time. So continue to pray for them. And also, a few prayer requests. Pray for Jonathan and Dennis, who are working at our new church there in Chiquicoyo that we mentioned. Also pray for the new believers like Mike for their spiritual growth. Pray for Gadi. Gadi is now working in Quiacoyo. We mentioned Pastor Pablo and his family are working in Quiacoyo. Gadi is now working in Quiacoyo. He's going to be taking over the new church, the church there where the new property is. Basically, they're going to be starting almost from scratch. And so he's working there in the area called Quiacoyo. And then Pastor Pablo is working at our first church, the first church we call Cochabamba. That's our original church. They've been without a pastor really since the pandemic. And so the Lord opened up some doors and was able to guide in some decisions that we made. And Pastor Pablo is now working there with his family and doing a great job, both in Cochabamba and Gadi in Quiacoyo. So thank you so much for praying for us. Thank you so much for all that you do for us in the ministry in Bolivia, because without you, we couldn't do what we do. So thank you so much, and Lord bless.